Hi, welcome back. The time's 6:10. Time to check your weather with Thomas. I'm hoping the weather takes it easy on us today.
Well, we're already starting to see wet weather in southern Utah. That's just going to be spreading north as we go through today because it's the first full day of spring or the second day of spring, however you want to classify it.
And so either way, the storm's coming.
Yeah, and we got our second winter storm in as many days. That's going to be moving in, Brian.
And that's not the only one we're getting this week.
Nope, because we could see another one going from our Thursday into Friday and possibly into the weekend as well. So unsettled weather. That's the name of the game, but the one that we're going to see out there today is likely going to be the strongest of all of them. So we'll go ahead and take you to the view currently in Cedar City where it is actively snowing, where we're sitting at 34 degrees. And Cedar City picked up some snow yesterday. The roadways are running wet in Cedar City, but as long as that temperature is above freezing, most of that snow is going to be on those elevated surfaces. But again, as that temperature could potentially cool down a little bit more, we could start to see some slushy conditions out on the roadways, especially between Cedar City and Beaver out there this morning on I-15. Meanwhile, this is the view in Park City this morning where the snow has since come to an end. However, you can see the residual impacts out on the roadways this morning. The plows have been through there, but you have such a shallow layer of snow out on the roads that it is very slippery to say the least. So if you're going to be traveling this morning, really no matter where you are, even if it's not actively raining or snowing where you are, you probably still want to build in some extra time just in case. We have multiple winter alerts to tell you about. We have winter weather advisories. We have winter storm warnings. The winter storm warnings include the Wasatch Mountains south of I-80, the western Uintas, the Wasatch Plateau and Book Cliffs, the southern mountains, Bryce Canyon Country, Zion National Park, south central Utah, the LaSalle and Abajo Mountains. Meanwhile, the winter weather advisory includes the Tavaputs Plateau, the Central Mountains, the Eastern Uintas, the Western Uinta Basin, the Wasatch Back, and the Wasatch Mountains north of I-80. It is a mouthful to say the least. In our mountains, within the warnings, generally expecting between 1 to 2 feet of snow from today through Wednesday night, 6 to 16 inches for the rest of the warnings, 4 to 14 inches for most of the advisories. Strong winds expected during the durations of these advisories and warnings, and also expecting winter driving conditions as well. On the storm tracker radar, really not seeing that much in northern Utah anymore. Most of those lingering snow showers have since come to an end, but in southern Utah, as a warm front's now lifting north from Arizona into Utah, we're tracking scattered rain and mainly snow showers, but rain stretching from St. George all the way up to the Iron County line, then seeing times of snow around Cedar City, and that snow is even stretching into Beaver. So if you're traveling, especially this morning along and south of I-70, make sure that you're building in that extra time. But here's a look at the satellite and radar on the bigger picture. Upper level low pressure off the Pacific coast is working its way in our direction, and you can see that it's tapping into plenty of moisture in association with the atmospheric river, that subtropical moisture from the Pacific working its way in our direction, and that's going to be spreading across the state, and we're going to be looking at the likelihood of wet weather more or less through tomorrow. It's going to be more of a blanket through today and then scattered activity tomorrow. But as that warm front lifts north and subsequently as the cold front moves in later today into tonight, thunderstorms once again going to be a possibility mainly for the southern 2/3 of the state. So just another thing that we'll be keeping our eye on. As we go from this morning into the afternoon, you can see that warm front lifting north, and then by 1 o'clock this afternoon even could start to see some wet weather in northern Utah, and that wet weather could even find its way to the Utah-Idaho line by the early stretches of this evening, and then into tonight as that cold front moves through. Could be talking about times of straight snow along the I-15 corridor, especially from Nephi down to Cedar City. And depending on where the moisture is during the overnight hours, we even could see times of snow even along the Wasatch Front. Could be a messy Wednesday morning commute to say the least. And as that system moves away to the east, we're going to get some wraparound moisture throughout the day on Wednesday. So again, you're going to see more scattered activity compared to that blanket like we're going to see for today. And just keep in mind, over the next couple of days, it's not going to be nonstop wet weather 100% of the time. There will be some breaks, but that likelihood of wet weather finding you will be likely more or less through our Wednesday. Conditions calm down a little bit from Wednesday night into Thursday, but from Thursday into Friday, another system coming in from the Pacific Northwest could result in more snow showers, especially as those temperatures will continue to trend downward. It's a lot to keep track of. Meanwhile, your expected snow totals range anywhere from 4 inches in our valleys, 1 to 6 for the benches. Nephi to Cedar City could see 2 to 8 inches with this particular system. Mountain valleys 4 to 12, and mountains 10 to 30 inches more or less through our Wednesday night into early on Thursday, and that moisture potential quite high thanks to this system tapping into the atmospheric river. But I'm highlighting southwestern Utah because that could be a bullseye once again. And we'll continue to keep a very close eye on the flooding concerns across southern Utah, especially given what we saw last week. As the warm front lifts north, daytime highs will be similar compared to what we saw yesterday, generally 30s and 40s up north. And we'll see daytime highs in the 40s and 50s down south. But after the front moves through, or after a thunderstorm passes by you, those temperatures could cool off rather quickly. So those snow levels are going to be bouncing up and down as we go throughout the next 24 hours. As for St. George, we're expecting mainly rain as we go through today. Then scattered rain showers will continue for our Wednesday, possibly through Thursday as well. Then it's just a slight chance Friday and Saturday, but we won't be able to completely eliminate that chance for wet weather as daytime highs will continue to run significantly below average, low to mid 50s down in St. George. Overnight lows mainly in the mid to upper 30s before we could get close to freezing by the end of the week into the upcoming weekend for those overnight lows. Then along the Wasatch Front, PM rain showers as that chance for wet weather will increase through the day. But during the first half of the day, actually could be fairly pleasant, maybe a little bit of sunshine, but then it's rain and snow showers for our Wednesday and Thursday. Could see straight snow on Friday as a high might struggle to get to 40. Then it's only upper 30s with a snow chance on Saturday, slight chance on Sunday, then maybe some dry conditions across the board once we get into early next week.